I am, but I'm not. I think the future with Brian Shaw looks bright. There's potential with this team, but once again, unfortunately for them, they're playing in the Western Conference to where, the way they're playing, and I know it's only 16 games into their season right now with an 8-8 record, but the way they're playing right now, they wouldn't even make the postseason if it started today. And I look at them, and I think they have some holes they need to fill. I think, I've had my issues with Brian Shaw as much as I've had with most former Celtics that left and badmouthed them like he did, which Rick Fox was the worst, of course, but I think they have talent on their team, but I think they're just missing. And that's the problem. You look at them, they're missing something, and I just can't put my finger on it.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get back to the. I was getting click happy here on my monitor.
You always get click happy.
I do.
It's usually when the show crashes.
No, well, yeah, it's usually when something.
Yeah, it's usually when the show crashes.
Some kind of shockwave issue happens. Shockwave. That was a Transformer reference.
Yeah.
All right, could it be possibly that the Nuggets still have Timofey Mozgov at center?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. To me, big man play.
Oh, are you there? Did we lose Steven? He cut out rather dramatically. He was just about to go on a Mozgov rant. And we are having technical issues getting Steve back, so we'll see what happens there. But, for the Nuggets, this actually is a good time to take our first break. You're listening to 87 Sports Fans Live on LateNightSportsRadio.com. We'll come back with more NBA talk on the other side. Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got a player who's hurt? No problem. Injuries won't derail your shot at victory because it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes, and you could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at LateNightSportsRadio.com.
'87 Sports Fans Live, the December 1st edition. Keith Grieve and Steve Taylor here with the second segment of the program. I'm going to try to keep the breaks on the 15-minute mark, but we already ran over once, so we'll see. We're already screwed up that plan. You know what that gets. So before we hit technical
that was creepy.
Yeah. Before we had technical difficulties, Steve is about to go on a rant regarding the Denver Nuggets. And so I will set you up again, because you said the Nuggets were missing something. And I said, could it be possible that they were...
I don't even remember what I was saying.
You don't even remember what you were saying?
I'm so irritated with technology right now. For those of you who don't know, I was having a 3-minute rant off the air. That was beautiful, and I don't know if I could even get the words back. All I really was saying is that they don't have a big-name player, and all the major teams do, and unfortunately for them, they're going to be one of those teams on the outside looking in until they get one. And especially in the Western Conference, where you have the same teams every year, and I know we've discussed this, and it's been right every year that we've discussed it. Same teams every year are going to make the postseason, are going to advance. You know, you're going to have your Oklahoma Cities, your Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, the Spurs, the Mavericks, the Trailblazers. You know, you're going to have those teams every year advance and be the ones going to the championship. So to me, it's frustrating because you look at these teams and you want to figure out what can they do to take that next step. But unfortunately for them, the way that everything is weighed right now in the NBA, it's almost impossible to take that next step, especially in the Western Conference. Teams are so stacked with the best talent, and most of the talent, unless your name was LeBron James and you like flip-flopping, most of the talent stay on their respected teams for a good amount of time. Like I look at the Clippers, I know Chris Paul just moved over there, but I see that team staying together for a while. Spurs stayed together forever. You know, the Mavericks have pretty much had the same core, being Dirk Nowitzki and solid players around him for a while. You know, the Grizzlies have had pretty close to the same roster for a while. Oklahoma City, they have the big two, and they've had them, plus Serge Ibaka, they've had them for a while. And it's just, until you can break up some of those dynasties, unfortunately for a team like Denver, they're never going to be anything but a middle-of-the-road NBA team.
Well, it's hard to argue with that because I'm trying to figure out right now who their best player is. Would it be Kenneth Faried? Ty Lawson? Nate Robinson?
I would say Ty Lawson just because I think he's the most consistent.
He's got 7 assists, in just over a half. They started the third quarter now, 67-48 leading the Jazz.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of frustrating because you and I have been NBA fans for most of our lives, and it's just when you first start watching basketball, you do get taken in by the speed of the game, the excitement, close games, but then over time you start to see wow, it is always the same teams. Like, I know a lot of people, that's the problem they always had with, like, the Yankees and the Red Sox, because they're always like, oh, well, they're always playing each other. They're always advancing to the World Series. But the NBA truly is a league without any kind of diversity among the teams. It's always the same teams. I mean, every now and then, like a team like the Lakers and Celtics, which were big, for a few decades, and then they have their little dip-offs like they're having now. But then they're eventually going to rebuild themselves, and you're going to see the same group kind of rotating in and out.
You think about the NBA champions since 1999, and it's either been the Spurs, Lakers, Heat, or Celtics, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Pistons win and a Mavericks win thrown in there. But did I leave anybody out?
No.
There's little to no parity in the NBA. You don't go in, and I think part of it is because of the 7-game series, which I love. There's the drama of a late game in that series is so much better than a one and done. But it's very hard for lesser teams to get through that grinder, and when you have those teams that are just loaded for that, and the Spurs are loaded, but they've done it all the right way. You know what I mean? They don't make the splashy free agent signings. They draft and they get role players and they keep their stars and they do it quote unquote the right way, if you will.
Yeah.
But they just grind you to death. And if anybody had a choice to either do things the Lakers way or the Spurs way, I'm a Laker fan. I'll tell you, I'd rather do it the Spurs way. That took a lot for me to say right there. That took an awful lot.
Well, let's say this. Since 1980, so we're talking 34 years, there have been 9 teams that have won the championship.
See, that's just ridiculous.
In 34 years, 9 teams. That's insane.
That's just ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
A sport like baseball that gets derided because they don't have a salary cap. They're the ones that have the biggest amount of variety in the teams that actually win the World Series.
Yeah. I mean, same with the NFL. A lot of them, you're going to see your Bradys and your Mannings.
Yeah, but they've had a different... Nobody's won back-to-back since the Cowboys?
No, the Patriots.
Did the
Patriots win?
Did the Patriots do back-to-back?
Yeah, they went back-to-back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I know I'm right.
Oh, here we go.